souls, hello one and all. Welcome to Grandma D's house, where you can be you, I can be me, and we'll learn from the magic book machine. We'll put some things in, then a story comes out to help us figure out what life is all about. So come and see Grandma D, Fifi, Brandon, and Ashley, 'cause when you're with them, you're with family. 1, 2, fiddly 3, it's Grandma D in the magic book machine.
Oh, hi, reading friends. I'm upset. Mr. T said I can't help lift these boxes up into the attic because I'm too small. And I have to stay here and tape them all shut and put stickers on them. And Brandon still gets to help.
Hi, reading friends.
Ah,
Ash, are you still mad?
reading friends, will you please tell Brandon that I'm still upset and that he can take these 2 boxes up to Mr. T?
Ash, why are you so mad?
Mr. T said I was small and couldn't help.
But Ash, you are helping, right?
I guess.
Without you putting the stickers on the boxes, we wouldn't know where they go. And without you taping the boxes together, mice can't get in and the boxes would fall apart because you did such a great job making them secure.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Grandma D would say there are no small jobs.
Oh, she would?
She'd say everybody's job is important. There are no small jobs in life, and everyone's job and life is important.
I see.
Ash, that reminds me of an old book that Grandma D read to me once. It's about a truck.
Oh. Lil Max, the Cement Mixer, by Renee Bartkowski, illustrated by Robert Doremus. One day, all the cement mixers at Mr. Appleby's truck yard were lined up ready to go to work. Lil Max, the smallest mixer in the yard, got into line behind them. The big cement mixer stared down at him coldly and asked, "Just where do you think you're going?" "I'm coming along to help build the bridge," Max replied proudly. The cement mixers began to laugh. You can't build the bridge. You're too small. You'd only be in the way." Lil Max ignored their remarks and followed them to the bridge. He'd show them that he, too, could be big and do important jobs. Max watched silently as the other mixers approached the bridge and poured out the cement. When his turn came, he drove up and proudly poured out the load. But when the engineer saw how small Max was, he shouted, "Get this mixer out of here! It's too small for the job." Feeling disgraced, Max hung his head and drove meekly back home. The next day, the cement mixers were all going to town to build a huge skyscraper. Again, Max was determined to show them that he could do a big job. They laughed when he joined them. But with his drum whirling smoothly, he followed the big cement mixers to the building site, and then he proudly poured out his cement. Once again, the engineer shouted at him to get out of the way, and then Max drove off, feeling useless. The same thing happened another day when Max tried to help build a huge superhighway. They just didn't want him because he was so small. Lil Max felt like a complete failure. He never wanted to work again. But one morning, just as the others were starting off to work, a strange man came and drove Max to the park. In the park meadow, he put Max to work pouring cement for a small bandstand. Max hoped that the other cement mixers wouldn't see him doing such a small, unimportant job. Feeling miserable and worthless, Max worked in the park for many days. He made a round platform for a merry-go-round. He made a small fountain in the center of the park. He spent many hours laying long, winding sidewalks through the flower gardens. One afternoon, the other cement mixers happened to drive past the park. They were surprised to see Max, and they stared curiously at his work. Max was ashamed. Now they all knew about his small and unimportant jobs. He dreaded the thought of going home and facing their sneers. However, later, as he was driving slowly and meekly into the truck yard, the other mixers suddenly began to call out to him. "Did you build that pretty bandstand, Max? Did you make that lovely fountain all by yourself? You certainly made the park look beautiful." Max stared at them in surprise. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. He had never thought of his work as being beautiful and worthwhile. Yet here they all were, all the big important cement mixers, actually admiring his work. Max beamed with pride as he suddenly realized that small jobs can be important too. From that day on, little Max never felt bad that he couldn't work on big projects. He knew that no matter how small his jobs were, if he did them really well, he could make the world a lovelier place in which to live. The end.
Oh wow, that book was cute, and it showed us we don't have to be embarrassed about who we are. Even the small things we do to help are important.
Yeah, and it was wonderful. It showed me you will be loved no matter who you are, and others will appreciate you for it.
Right, like Grandma D says, we love you and everything you are.
Right.
And you know what else?
What's that, brother?
It's also the time where we end story time, and we have to tell everyone out there what Grandma D always says.
Oh, right. Grandma D says she doesn't much care for goodbyes, so for now, farewell.
It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. Our time has been such fun. Our friendship's only just begun. So remember to share what you've learned with everyone. But it's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. Grandma D loves you and everything you are. You can bet we'll be with you even when we seem far. And so we'll say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now. It's time to say farewell for now. Farewell. Farewell. For now. For now.